This episode is brought to you by the Law Office of Joseph I. Marchant, Riles Drug Store, jointly with Riles Outfitters, the Merchants and Citizens Bank, Milton CPA Services, Vineyard Doodles, the Cannon Law Firm, and Jason's Fast Lube. So let's go ahead and jump right on into this now. I want to say what's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Throwing It Around. Today I'm sitting down with Michael Long, the head baseball coach at Carver High School in Columbus, Georgia. So without further ado, let's get to it. So thanks so much for joining me, Coach. First of all, let's get all the as you say small talk out of the way. For those who may not know who you are, just kind of give us a introduction of yourself.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Long, head baseball coach at Carver High School in Columbus, Georgia. Um, yeah, man, this is my second year here at Carver, and excited to be on. Thank you again, Jacob.
It was my pleasure. You're doing a lot by helping me out with this. So this right here is more of an opinionated question. Some may agree and some may not. So I'll just say in the description of my show, I'm sure you've seen if you've already put you might have pulled it up and listened to a little bit of my stuff. But in the description, I've wrote that sports have the uncanny ability to help people escape the real world and not worry about life's daily challenges. I mean, you go out there and you've got one thing in mind. If you're a spectator, you're going out there to just have some fun and watch a game. If you're a player, you're going out there with one thing in mind: go out there, play the game. One, have fun, but also go out there and two, go out there and be sure to win the game. So, in in your opinion, do you agree with this?
I do. There's several situations, even going back to when I played, where baseball was my escape
Mm-hmm.
from the pressures in the world. So it could be anything. It could be a family emergency, or it could be just stress from school, things of that nature. And, sports in general can, bring the best out of you and kind of get you through those tough times. And I know it's done that for me.
Mm-hmm.
A few years ago, I lost my grandmother,
Oh.
almost going on 2 years ago. And one thing that kept me going was staying on the baseball field. I didn't, take some time off. I tried to occupy my time, and it actually helped me get out of a dark place as far as, grieving her loss,
Mm-hmm.
just, losing her. So I can definitely agree with that statement, that description, is that um, sports in general can help you in trying times. I know that, with our program, we try to make it a safe environment, in a fun and enjoyable environment, because, they may not tell you, but those students are constantly battling something. It could be stress in the classroom. It could be something outside of school that is on their mind. And our job, and my job and my staff's job, is to try to not only mold them into better baseball players, but better men. And that's a part of it. We're very, very faith based. We have FCA. They come out and they do devotion with the guys. We definitely pray before games, after games, things of that nature. And we do everything we can to pour love into our program. Whether it's, just asking the kid, how was your day? And just asking the kid and showing that you care, it can go a long way. And that's one thing that I've seen with a lot of our players. And they'll tell me, Coach, you've really helped me not just become a better player, but just a better version of myself. And that just goes back to that description that you mentioned. And I'm all in agreement on that description.
Oh, absolutely. And I know flashing back what you were saying about with your grandma passing. I know in ways you think about that too. That and think of it in a positive light. That gives either coaches or even in players from their perspective, it gives them something to go out there and coach for and play for, a little bit more extra motivation. I'm going out here. In your case, I'm going to do this for grandma, or I'm going to go to do this for a dad who passed, or a brother or sister that passed. Just
Yeah.
that little bit of extra motivation can do wonders in a positive way for a player or a coach in your life. Yeah.
Yes, it can. And then one thing that I do, and a lot of people don't know this, one thing I do before games, I'll jog out to the center field. And I kind of just have a talk with my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
because she was a very, very big part of my life, and she would enjoy seeing me play.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't really get a chance to see me coach, but she got a chance to see me play, and she enjoyed that. So one thing I try to do before each game, I just go out to center field and I have a talk with her basically,
Right.
and she's on my mind. And when I end my little conversation with her, I'm locked in and I'm ready to coach, and I
Oh yeah.
do that in honor of her. And it helps me get through games. It helps me stay calm and level headed a
Mm-hmm.
lot, because a lot that I do, I dedicate my life to her because she was a big part of my life, and those things can really motivate you to do great things, and that's why in our program we try to be there, not just as a coach, but as a mentor for our players, because again, you do not know what those kids are going through. And the more you give into them, the more you pour into them, the more they give you. You know what I'm saying? So like
Mm-hmm.
if there is a situation going on with them that they might be shy to talk about at first, but when you pour that love into them, they tend to open up more
Mm-hmm.
to you. And we see that a lot, and I love it, man, because that makes us closer, and that makes us closer on the field, and it makes us closer as a family. Everything I do is family oriented. Our program
Right.
is family oriented, and that's why we've been able to have some success, because they're starting to bond, they're starting to gel, and become more of a family or a brotherhood versus just, hey, we're just out here on the same team. And we may not really talk to each other, we may not see each other outside of school, but you don't really see that in our program. These guys hang out with each other constantly. They're constantly talking to each other, and that helps us on the field. And coaching staff is the same way. We meet, we talk to each other, we go out to eat, we do different things, because the more camaraderie you have within your unit, your team, your program, the better off you're going to be.
Oh, absolutely. I honestly love everything you said, especially the thing about having a conversation with your grandma. I know that makes me flash back to a movie that I watched recently. It was called Running the Bases. It's
Mm-hmm.
where I'm sure if you haven't seen it, that'd be a great movie to go watch. I know this. It tells the story of these two brothers. One of them happens to sadly die on the baseball field in a high school state title game, and for the rest of his for the brother that for the brother of the guy for the rest of his life, he grows up to be a baseball coach, and to like honor him throughout his coaching career. He every before every game he goes and like he literally like does the home run trot. I mean, runs the bases in honor of him, and that
Yeah,
helps him. Like you said, like in your instance with having a conversation with your grandma, that helps him get centered and get ready to take care of business out there.
exactly.
Mm. So I'd like to
Awesome.
flash back to younger Michael because you're not very old at all. So I'll go ahead and say younger Michael and instead of younger days. Uh, so we'll go back to your playing days. So
Okay.
when exactly did you start playing in sports, and were you by chance a multi-sport athlete?
I started playing at the age of 3. That's when I started t-ball. I was a multi-sport athlete at one point. I played up until freshman year of high school. I was playing football, basketball, and baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Played quarterback and football for football. And I enjoyed my younger years of coming up through sports. And for me, the way I view sports, especially when I got closer to middle school, I said, okay, um, let me start trying to figure out what path do I want to take in sports. So, like I said, I was a 3-sport athlete at one point, but then when I got to my freshman year of high school, I limited it to one, and it was baseball, because that baseball was what was my first love when it
Mm-hmm.
came to sports. That was the first sport I played. I started with t-ball. And then I think I ended up playing basketball and football around the same time. But I just fell in love with the game of baseball, man. And I would say that younger me has played a big part in where I am now, because I take a lot of those experiences that I had, um, in the game when I played in my playing career, and I can tie it into things that I do with my players, and I can tie it into things that I view as a coach now. I would tell you, I'll be honest with you. When you become a coach after playing, you see the games totally different.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of similarities, between a player and coach, but there's also a lot of differences that, in my opinion, outweighs the similarities.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that, the way I view the game now is a little bit different than how I view the game when I played it. See, there's things that we see transpire in a game or in a practice. I'm like, oh man, I wish I had known that when I played, But younger me, man, fell in love with sports very young. And I never looked back. I knew at some point I really wanted to make a career out of it. My career actually got cut short. I ended up having a hip surgery that ended my playing career right after high school. I had an opportunity to get some looks and get a chance to play at the next level. But after getting my surgery and talking to my doctors kind of said, yeah, you can go play, but I don't really recommend it. So when he said that, I said, enough said. I'm about to start my coaching career now, which I was already kind of in my coaching career beforehand. I was coaching in high school. I coached Little League and things like that. So my coaching career started in high school, but then after my surgery and things like that, it took off from there.
Gotcha. And my next question, I'll say it'll go back into the opinion based one. I talked with our high school girls basketball coach about this, and he tended to agree more with me with this. And there really isn't a wrong answer to this, but in terms of multi-sport athletes, do you believe that multi-sport athletes happen to have a bit of an advantage over those that focus in on a singular sport, like on a year-round basis?
I would say that it depends on the player.
Mm-hmm.
Reason why I say that is because you can have a player who's a multi-sport athlete who just got it in every sport that they play. And you look at the college ranks, a lot of coaches do love when they hear that a player plays more than one sport, because that means that they're always active, they're always working towards their craft. And if they're capable of playing at the next level, that multi-sport athlete does kind of have a little bit of an edge, mainly because a lot of coaches say that they're dependable because, you got to think about it. Most of these kids nowadays are jumping from one sport right into the other, and then with no break. And they're asked to be, to do a lot of different strenuous things, and they're able to do it. So, like I said, it kind of depends on the player, because I've seen it on both, sides already. You have a multi-sport athlete that, and we have one on our team right now. I got a multi-sport athlete on my team right now who came straight from basketball right to baseball and batted over 300. He finished 364 this year.
Wow.
Then I also got a guy who focuses strictly on baseball with similar numbers. So you can see it either way. And honestly, I say it just depends on the person. Every kid who tries to play multi-sports doesn't do it at a high level. Not saying that they're not good. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is they tend to not they kind of like fall back from a sport at a certain point in time. But then you got several two-way players that go play in college. So you might see a guy that plays football but also plays baseball. And a lot of those guys are the ones that you see nowadays that are draft worthy. When I would say draft worthy, those might be, highly touted baseball players in high school, but they're also highly touted football players. So they can find a school that will accept them for both,
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's my opinion on that, man. Like I said, I think it just depends on the player.
Right, and another point that I actually raised this question with a softball player I interviewed as well, and I really liked her answer, and it was kind of similar to yours. She said it kind of like you said, depending on the athlete, and also with that singular sport athlete, it also depends on whether they are like continuously honing their skills in that sport,
Yes.
whether it's not just when it's the off season, like with baseball players, like a baseball player goes into the off season, and if they don't pick up a bat until next baseball season, see, that's not a good thing.
No,
Somebody who's like continuously in training for the next season. I mean, I'm not talking about going full force during the fall months trying to really stay sharp and like doing the necessities and then coming into baseball season ready to go again versus with multiple sport athletes you got there's certain skills within other sports that help hone necessary skills like with baseball. You got a basketball player, of course, it's up and down the court, back and forth, back and forth. That's endurance running for running the bases, or if you're an outfielder, having to cover lots of ground, take the right routes, footwork. I mean, you can play whatever sport, and you got to have good footwork in whatever sport you play. I mean, but
exactly.
I honestly liked the girl. She was a softball player at Middle Georgia State. And I think her answer to me was the best one that somebody could have given is that as long as that single sport athlete is like continuously trying to hone skills, I think that the advantage is little to none.
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that because
Mhm.
the singular sport athlete, that's all they have. So
Mhm.
if you're not, constantly working towards your craft in the off season, even in season, like there's several, singular sport athletes. They'll after a game, if they felt like they didn't perform their best, they'll go to the cage and get some more cuts,
Mhm.
or they may, hey coach, I want to get some more ground balls or things like that. So, um, that's where you kind of limit that, like you said, you kind of limit that advantage. You know what I'm saying? So that's a great answer.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure. I absolutely. I honestly couldn't have phrased it better. Whenever she told me that, I was like, "That's that's honestly the answer I wanted. I was actually looking for."
Oh yeah.
So, what about your education background? What kind of dive into that a little bit? It's like, when it comes to like a degree you may have, or um, what's the education background and what led you to that decision?
Okay. So I have my associates in general studies, and I have my bachelor's in kinesiology, concentrated in physical education and or health and physical education. What led me to that was just really the love for sports.
Right.
I knew in ninth grade what I wanted to do when I graduated high school. I wanted to stay in sports. I wanted to get in somewhere where it was a good fit for me. So my background with that is strictly sports, and it's just because love sports. My degree at I got my degree at Columbus State, my bachelor's degree at Columbus State, and then I got my associate's degree at Chattahoochee Valley Community College, and I'm actually gearing up to get my master's. So
Okay. Cool.
that'll be coming soon.
Cool. Cool. I love it. I love it. Let's take a quick break to thank these sponsors once again, because without them, I would not be able to do this. Big thanks going out to Riles Drugstore, jointly with the Riles Outfitters, the Merchants and Citizens Bank, the Law Office of Joseph I. Marchant, Milton CPA Services, LLC, Vineyard Doodles, the Cannon Law Firm, and Jason's Fast Lube. Big thanks going out to them. So I've asked this to two other coaching friends of mine, and I did this for a video assignment while I was still in school. Is I made the title of the video why coach in the form of a question. So what led you to decide to become a coach?
Um, what led me to become a coach was, I'm not gonna lie, my father.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't even know if he knows this, but just seeing him bring me up through sports,
Mm-hmm.
seeing how he mentored his players, whether it was, I don't care if they were 7 years old, all the way up to college level, um, age and things like that. He mentors his players, and I idolize that, and I that made me really want to go into coaching. On top of, of course, having a love for the game
Right.
and things like that. And then seeing the enjoyment and the excitement on young men's face when they have success and see the hard work they put in pay off. And but yeah, the big thing is really my father, just watching him do what he, does and things like that. And that really led me into wanting to become a coach. And then, as I was coming up and just falling more and more in love with the game, it was just really a no-brainer to get my degree and get right into coaching.
Awesome. And your answer was very similar to our high school football coach. He mentioned that his dad is what got him into coaching football because his dad had a fairly long high school football coaching career down in Florida until he retired, and then good handful of years ago he sadly passed. But I mean, I know since he came here to Telfair, I mean, the man's a football guru, if you ask me. He's pretty much turned our football program around, and you honestly couldn't ask for a better coach. And I've heard similar praise about you as well at Carver.
Oh, thank you.
When it comes to coaching in high school, I know this it may be different at the college level because I've interviewed so many people at the college level. Uh, the college softball coach that I've done multiple interviews with, she doesn't necessarily have a teaching position. She only is focusing in on coaching. But do you have a teaching position as well? Because I know at some schools, I know that's basically a requirement in most places.
Yeah, I do have a teaching job as well. I know in the private ranks, like private school ranks, you
Mm-hmm.
can coach without teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Public school, you have to be a
Got to be a teacher.
certified, or you have to be a teacher
Mm-hmm.
to become a head coach.
Right.
So you got to have that degree and go through all different training programs and things like that, and then eventually, you can become a head coach. So yes, I do have a teaching degree. I'm a teaching job, and I'm in special education right now, and this year I was in the math department as well. So kind of taking on two different jobs at one time. Actually three, because teaching, math, doing my special education duties, and then coaching. So yeah,
Full plate.
full plate.
Uh, Baseball season is now over for the majority of teams here within the GHSA. I know it's pretty much championship weekend now.
Yeah.
You've got multiple teams going off to their locations. I know we've got Truist Park, we've got Coolray Field, Rome, and down in Statesboro, I believe, where all the classes will be headed. So I want to go ahead and get your grade per se on Carver's season performance this year.
Um, I would honestly say if I had to grade it from, like an actual grading scale, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I
Mm-hmm.
would give ourselves an A, and it's not. I'm record aside. It's mainly because of the hard work that we put in these last 2 years, and seeing how well we improved from year one to year two. Last year, my first year at Carver, we took a team with, we had a few actual baseball players as far as been playing for several years without missing any years. And then we had majority of players that were just, either playing for the first time or haven't played in 3 to 4 years and they're just not getting back into it. And we had year one, we finished the year with 84 hits, which is it's not really a lot when it comes to when you play in 30 games.
Right.
Some teams double that,
Mm-hmm.
We didn't win a lot of ball games, but then you fast forward to this year, we finished the year with 163 hits. We batted over 300 as a team. We batted over 300. We added more quality to our program, and we won more ball games. Like I said, we didn't win many,
Right.
but we won some big ball games, and we won
Mm-hmm.
some games that was must-win games for us to have a chance to make the playoffs. And we was one game short from making the playoffs this year. But the thing is this, Carver went from having no team for 3 years to in year 2 back, 1 game away from making the playoffs. And that's a big reason why I give us an A, because these kids have put in a lot of hard work. Like, we've been working with this core group since August of last year.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, I take that back. We've been working with this core group since June of last year. So almost a full calendar year. And, they've been nonstop working. And that's what it takes to build a quality program. You got to continuously work. We can't take a lot of time off. We're going to get some time off to rest and recuperate and things like that. But for the main thing is you got to keep getting those reps. And baseball is a year-round sport. Whether you're doing it individually or as a team, you got to keep getting that quality work in. And you have to do it. It is, in order to keep up and keep moving up, you got to do it. So I would give us an A, and I'm proud of my guys. We asked a lot of them. I will tell you that we asked a lot of especially our pitchers and our catchers. We asked them to do a lot of things, and they handled it well. And the big takeaway for me is we're mainly freshmen and sophomores this year. So we're asking a lot of young kids, I think ninth grade, 13, 14, 15,
Mm-hmm.
Pushing 16 when you get in the sophomore, junior year. We're asking a lot of young kids who, for the first time playing at the varsity level, to do a lot of, things, and they handled it well. They managed it well. And I expect us to grow from that.
Oh, hey, I honestly agree with you with the grade. I mean, you could say that just from the numbers you gave me, you almost, if I'm doing my math correctly, you're almost doubling the amount of hits. I mean, and getting
Yeah.
and almost getting that close to the playoffs. I mean, you got to say, yeah, the record aside, I mean, there is some noticeable improvement. I mean, some people who look at the finer points may lower that grade a little bit, but I mean, if you look at the general, I guess you could say, shape of the program, you could see that it's definitely headed in the right direction. I mean, it's not plateauing; it's headed this way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just to add on, a lot of people will look at the record and they'll
Mm-hmm.
be like, there's no way you can give them an A because of record. But honestly, sometimes records can be deceiving. Exactly. It can be
Yeah.
deceiving.
Mm-hmm.
Because unless you're looking at a team practice all the time and you actually go watch some games, then that's your actual grade. Because you got to think about it. You can have a team that wins 20 ball games, but they didn't really play tough competition. But then you can have a team only win 10 games and they had a really strong schedule. They played powerhouse teams. They faced quality guys on the mound. They had quality, opponents, defensively and offensively that they played against, and they had tough games. We had a lot of tough games this year. We played a powerhouse in Russell County this year, who gave us, it actually showed us, why they, have had success, for decades. And that's just one team. We played several teams. We played Columbus High. Columbus High is in our region, and they're constantly producing next level guys. And so we play some tough teams. So we're going to be battle tested just about every time we step on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And just to see the improvement that we have is very phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I can agree with you. So, well, I know some people are a certain way about whenever they receive praise, and all some people don't like to talk about themselves, and some honestly don't mind it, and I'm sure you know a few people that like that. But
Yeah.
but you were awarded the Game Changer of the Year award. So how did it feel to receive that award?
And it felt amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a shock. It was a surprise. It came out of nowhere, honestly. But I was very excited, and I love everything that came behind it. And mainly before our program, we got national exposure. We had Game Changer came out for about a week, and they did a story on us that's on YouTube right now, and it's actually got over 20,000 views. And the kids enjoyed that. They was able to partner up with ProLook, which is one of their sponsors. And ProLook, I'm actually wearing one of the items that they gave us
Oh,
They gave us a pullover.
mhm.
They gave us 2 brand new uniforms, and they showered us with a lot of love. And again, they did the story, and the kids was able to, you know, we had our David Pollock Classic, which is a classic we plan on doing every year. And they was there during that time, and they was out there, filming the games, and the kids enjoyed that. They enjoyed that moment. The parents enjoyed it. I surely enjoyed it. And, I thank them for everything they did for us. And, we still stay in contact. So we actually got some things in motion to probably partner up with in the future too. So I'm excited about that as well. So I love it because you build that relationship that can go a long way. And so it's not just a one and done, here's your award, and we're probably not going to talk to you anymore. It's more so like, hey, we're here for you if you need anything. Let's continue to try to collab on some things. So I'm very grateful for Game Changer and what they've done for us, and they do a phenomenal job of what they do.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I love it. So we're running short, a little short on time with this recording. So there is two questions I really want to get in before time runs out.
Okay.
Want to get your take on. I've heard that you were going to be doing a little bit of work with the Chattahoochee. I believe that's a semi-pro team, right?
It's a college summer league
Yeah.
team.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So summer leagues, semi-pro.
Yeah.
That's my main question, and I put this in here as like a little note to myself, is kind of like I guess you could say something similar to the making bacon per se. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you. So, I mean, is this a first time opportunity for you?
Yes, this would be my first opportunity of doing something like this. My first go around coaching college athletes too, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, absolutely. So, uh, so what are some expectations going into the summer season with the Chattahoochee?
Just
Personal or for the team per se?
I'll start with the team. Just some
Yeah.
expectations from myself. I'm gonna be working with the infielders and outfielders. Just honestly, just improving their craft. Getting them ready for to go back to their respective college programs, and just seeing their growth throughout the summer. These leagues are designed to, continue your craft, and it's designed for you to continue to play, um, quality baseball. This is like college travel ball.
Right.
You got travel ball, so it's very similar to that. So my expectation for the team, as far as the guys that I'm gonna be working with, is just them growing as players and as men as well, and just helping them in any area. Um, Personal expectation for me is honestly just continues to learn how to ins and outs of coaching. I'm a firm believer that a great coach never stops learning the game, so that I'm going to have an opportunity to learn the game in a different light that I haven't seen yet. So that's a personal goal for me, is just learning the game more from that aspect, and also just being an advocate for these young men that we're going to help throughout the summer, just helping them in any area, and also being around a well put together staff. Our head coach is a legend around our area. He just won his 5th straight state championship, and he's constantly doing in high school, and he's constantly doing great things. And I'm excited and humbled to be under his wing throughout the summer, and being able to learn from him. So those are my expectations. Just really learning more about the game from a well put together staff as well, and just learning more about myself as a coach, because I think this is going to be a good test for me. I'm only in year 2 of being a head coach at the high school level, but now I'm getting a chance to coach at the collegiate level too. So I'm very excited for it.
I got you. Awesome. So my final question here today for this interview, I know players learn many life lessons from coaches, whether outside of the skills of their sport. So, I mean, I know you're, like you said, you're still new in in the coaching profession. So, are there any valuable lessons that you have learned from? You might have learned it from a player, you might have learned it from a fellow coach. I mean, is there anything that you've learned while being in the coaching profession in your young career?
Oh, that's a good question. One thing that I've learned, and it kind of piggybacks on what I just said, you can never stop learning.
Mm-hmm.
Never stop learning. You got to continue to be a student of the game. Whether you're a coach, I don't care if you've won multiple championships in a row, you still got to continue to learn the game. So that's one lesson I've learned. Because as a player, and I'll be honest with you, there'll be moments where you kind of, scale back from being a student of the game. You get so, bogged down with everything. You get tired and you just kind of stop studying the game. But as a coach, you cannot do that. It doesn't matter how you feel. You got to continue to work because you're still building your program, especially in our situation with us, building a program from scratch. There's always things that you can learn. So that's one valuable lesson. Another lesson that I've learned is to continue to push your kids. You got, whether it's in the classroom or on the field, you got to continue to push your kids. So that's another lesson I've learned in my short career at the high school levels, that you got to continue to push them, because if you don't push them, they're going to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to shut down. When you push them, it tends to continue to motivate them to do what they do, and want to do it at a high level.
Oh, absolutely. I pretty much agree with everything you said. And I think that'll pretty much wrap everything up aside from the sponsors. I want to thank them one more time: the Merchants and Citizens Bank, Milton CPA Services, Vineyard Doodles, the Cannon Law Firm, and and Riles Outfitters as well. I'm sorry I didn't get that one in. And Riles Drugstore and Jason's Fast Lube. Coach, I definitely appreciate it so much, you sitting down with me to do this interview.
Sure.
It's been a big help. I hope everybody from around the Columbus area enjoys our little interview, our little sit down, and hopefully sometime in the future we can do this again soon.
Of course, man. I thank you for having me again, Jacob. And I'll say this: shout out to Jacob. Everybody go support him, what he's doing. This is needed. Podcasts like this is needed, and you never know who you can touch with these podcasts. So you're doing a fantastic job, and continue to do what you're doing. And anytime you want me on, man, I would love to be on the show, man.
Oh, hey, I honestly, I appreciate the shout out, and I hope sometime soon I may be able to get over there and watch some Chatahoots, and maybe you and I can do something face to face.
Yeah, I would love that, man.
All right. Well, hey, you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you.